Hey everyone, welcome to Judging for the Win. I'm Dave, and this is my daily ruling. Today's question was suggested by a viewer, thanks to Spiteful AZ for this one. Amy sacrifices Biolume Egg while she controls Rest in Peace. What happens? Alright, so the first thing we're going to need to do to answer this question is to know a fact about replacement effects. We know that the Rest in Peace exiling the Biolume Egg is a replacement effect because that uses the word instead. So, the way replacement effects work is they look out and if anything in the game is going to cause the thing that they're talking about to happen, then they replace that event with a completely different event, which they specify in the replacement effect. So, putting that into practice here, we can see that the Rest in Peace's replacement effect is going to look out and see the Biolume Egg is about to be put into the graveyard when it's sacrificed. It'll replace that with a completely different event of exiling the Biolume Egg. So we can see that the Biolume Egg is not going to go to the graveyard and then get exiled. Rather, it's just going to go straight from the battlefield to the exile zone. Now, that's important because of this rule here, which says that if you have a triggered ability that triggers off of an object changing zones, it will be able to find that new object in whatever zone that it goes to as long as it's a public zone. So that means that the Biolume Egg's ability is able to find the Biolume Egg in exile, even though it's not the zone that it was normally expected to go to. And the rest of the Biolume Egg ability is going to happen completely normally, exactly as if the Biolume Egg had gone to the graveyard. So, the Biolume Egg will indeed be returned transformed at end of turn. A couple of things that I wanted to end out with here. First of all, even though the Biolume Egg did not go to the graveyard, it went to the exile zone, it still does count as being sacrificed, and if it were, for example, sacrificed as part of paying a cost, like for example a Catapult Captain activation, then that cost would still be considered paid, and anything that relied on that cost being paid would still happen accordingly. So if you sacrificed it with the Catapult Captain, you would still have your opponent losing life. Now, the other thing that I wanted to point out here is that this only worked because the new zone that the Biolume Egg went to is a public zone. A public zone is just a zone that every player can look at. So that means that if, for example, we had a Wheel of Sun and Moon rather than a Rest in Peace, and the Biolume Egg went to the bottom of its controller's library rather than into exile, then it would not be coming back transformed. That's because the library is not a public zone, and so therefore, that rule that I cited earlier is not going to apply. The Biolume Egg went to a private zone, and so therefore, the game cannot find it in the new zone that it went to, and anything else that relies on that happening is not going to occur. And that's all I have for you today. How did you do? Join me again tomorrow for another daily ruling, but until then, I hope you have a great day.